Hello, welcome to the 9th episode of my series, The Hero of Light Reviews, my Game Boy and Game Boy Color collection. Let's see what the 9th Game Boy game God has to offer. Now, I got this game pretty much the same way I got my previous one. My best friend of the time went to get rid of some of his old Game Boy games and I was happy to oblige. I didn't get this one as a present though, it was actually sold to me by my friend, really cheaply though, but still a commercial exchange. And to be honest, this is one of these cases where the hype of the game didn't live up to the game itself, but still I keep it to my collection all the same. The game I am referring to is none other than the Game Boy version of The Lion King. Now, The Lion King was, and still is, one of my favorite Disney movies. And I'm not talking for this rehash version screening on a theater next to you at the moment of this video. I'm talking about the real deal, the 90s animated version. I was like 8 years old at the time and it blew me away. Though this is not my favorite Disney movie of all time, I will reveal that later on, it still ranks amongst the best. And when the movie was released, there were some video game versions released as well. This was back in the day when all Disney animated movies came along with a video game version, and I got to say that a lot of great video games of the 90s were released this way. I personally got the MS-DOS version of the game on my PC, and I would play it a lot back then. So when I realized, years later from that a Game Boy version was also available, I just had to acquire it, and I did, and it was awful. Now, this game was made by Virgin, and it was a rehash of the original PC, Super NES, and Sega Genesis version of the game, fragments of which you can watch throughout this video. And even though the real deal was a great game, a really great game, the Game Boy adaptation was not that good at all. What the developers tried to do with this game is to use as much of the original content as possible within the limited power of the Game Boy. And when I say limited, I mean in comparison with the Super NES version. And the result was a mixed bag. What you get here is a Simba with pretty smooth running animation, but with difficult handling, poor backgrounds, and frankly a completely joyless gameplay. You can see the side-by-side comparison and you can see for yourselves that the result is not even close enough. From my point of view, this game could be great if they focused on the Game Boy's capabilities and make a new game based on what the Game Boy can and cannot do. Unfortunately, this same pattern was used on another Disney's Game Boy game, but this will have to wait for later. All in all, a disappointing effort to look alike rather than standing out on its own merit. I will leave this scar quote from the game here. I think it pretty much sums it all up. So anyway, here we are. Let's see how our list goes now. There are not that many changes to be had here, as you can see. The chronological list obviously has been updated, and the rank list is pretty much the same as the previous video, only the Lion King is now on the bottom. Even though I really love this movie, this game was a disappointment, at least from my point of view. I would really like to know your own thoughts of it in the comment section. I mean, it could be fun, but it wasn't, and it is clearly outranked from all the other real Game Boy games on my list. So this is it for now. If you like my video, make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comment section below what you think about this series and my channel in general. There are more videos on gaming in my channel, so make sure you give them a try as well. Cheers!